Okay, welcome to SRL 360, episode 32. And I'm joined here by Lachlan Martin, Tyrone Clay, and we'll be joined later by Joshua Barfield. How are we going, boys?
Yeah, pretty good as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big week this week that we just witnessed. The two finals games, of course. Are we ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Well, okay, we'll start out with the first game of the week. The Cowboys v Warriors. What are our thoughts on this game?
Ooh.
What, it's just, Tyron, what are your thoughts on this game?
I just think that Cowboys showed their class, to be honest.
Fair enough.
To come out against an informed side like the Warriors and put 30 on them, it just signifies that they are a threat to the competition.
Yeah, I think they're a very, very good side, the Cowboys. And they just really they have a lot of class in their side and they sometimes go under the radar. I think they have Amatine who can change the game at any given point. Um, I think they have one of the better forward packs in the SRL. I mean, you got Chris Lord, you got Stace DePace, Robbo Molson. They have the pack to compete with a side like Manly, and we'll get on to that later. But the Cowboys have some real class. They get it right. I think they can beat Manly. Clinical, you know? Yeah, very clinical, the Cowboys. So, yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of containing the Warriors there. But Warriors season done for them. Pretty disappointing after making the fourth
Hey,
spot.
Liam, I'm not sure if you heard what I said earlier, but my mic computer on the recording. Just my mic. You guys were talking.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry
Ooh.
about that. Anyways, we'll just
Yeah.
continue on. Do I mention what I said again, or just continue on?
I could. You can mention it. Mention it.
Yeah. So what I said was when I mic muted was that basically the Cowboys, they have a lot of errors in their game, similar to what Manly were like this week. David Warner and Rohan Caval topped the error count with 11 each. That's 22 errors between their starting halves. But they went into this game, and I thought they were very strong, the pair of them. Both were key aspects of the game. Only one error between them, which is, considering they're averaging more than one error each a game. It was also yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm just messing around with audio and stuff.
Yeah.
I think if they can get those errors out, I think they will be very hard to stop because they are a very strong football team and they got sided and they got under the radar.
Definitely do go under the radar. But as I said, I think it's very disappointing for the Warriors to give up such a chance like this so easily. It's a big. They haven't made finals in a while, and they just got absolutely blown out of the water. It's a bit sad for them, but I think they'll learn from it and come out better from it.
Yeah, well, the
I
Warriors
mean,
have
we'll get onto it.
been interesting. They obviously will get into signings later, but they've actually kept everyone but two of their squad members this season, which is Anelda Takuri and Logan Strange. They're the only squad members leaving, so they definitely have a lot to build on. But with that being said, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what improve it comes to this side. I am a bit worried about them for next season. I will talk more about that later, but I am a bit worried about them for next season. Anyway, should we move on to the next game?
Yeah, we should. I think they definitely. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next game. So we've got the Manly Seagulls versus the Canberra Raiders. What are our thoughts on this game, Tyron?
Oh, probably one of the games of the season. Arguably the two best teams in the competition facing each other, and Canberra edging out. Good display here from both teams, but in the end, the best team won the game, and that was Canberra.
Yeah, as we were talking about earlier, Manly made a lot of errors, didn't they? I think, what was it?
Probably
11.
My opinion,
11,
I've never
yeah.
seen Manly do this many errors. Chaz Dingle with 3 errors, and to be fair, the Raiders also had a lot of errors in this game, and it's quite concerning considering what they're coming up against this week. But Chaz Dingle, 3 errors, Punch and Brad Goodwin, 2 of their big front row boppers, 2 errors each. It's just something we haven't seen from Manly ever.
Really, it does let this other side into the game. Because if the other side has got enough class, we're starting to see if the other side has enough class to score and they can crack the line, then that makes them a lot more dangerous. And Manly, if they make an error, it's like they have been in the last couple of seasons, I think it's very dangerous. And they've got to figure out a way to stop these errors from coming. Because it's very dangerous for the other team. Yeah, so I think they just need to cut out the errors, Manly, or they'll get absolutely. I think the Cowboys will eat them up if they make 11 errors again. I think they'll go out in straight sets. But obviously, they're going to try and do everything they can to change the outcome of last week to a win this week because they really want to go the three-peat. So.
Yeah. Manly are an interesting side to win because usually when we see these big sides like lose games, we're like, oh, but they never lose 2 games twice. The thing is, though, we haven't seen Manly lose when they've been in this form, so we don't know what they're going to react when they lose here. They could lose 2 games twice. We don't know. They could just miss their form. You know, we don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
we haven't seen them lose, so we can't use this as a situation where like, oh, they never lose 2 games twice. We haven't seen them lose to be put in that situation. So,
yeah.
Manly are in a... I think they're in trouble this week. I genuinely do. I think... The Raiders, we haven't talked much with the Raiders. I think they had moments that were good. They also had moments that were very bad, and they'll have to fix that for the grand final. 4 errors by Jack and Neil. Had an up and down night, I thought. 182 run meters, 3 line breaks, 250 kick meters. Had a hands on all their tries. Had... Set up the second try while scoring the first and the final try, but he had 4 errors to his name. So take what you will of that, but you know, they'll need to fix that up. And Jack and all will have to fix it up because you can't be making that many errors against the good sides. And they got lucky that Manly just happened to make more errors than them, which ended up being the difference realistically.
Yeah, realistically, Jack O'Neill cannot make 4 errors in a game. Like, if you're making 4 errors in a game, that's just going to cause huge, huge problems. And they just can't make this many errors. If Manly come out, if I think Manly or the Cowboys, they don't make that many errors against them, and Canberra make 9 errors, they're going to lose that game in the grand final. So they need to fix it up big time.
Yeah, look, luckily they have enough time to fix it up. Like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they have to fix it up because, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting grand final. I genuinely think any one of the teams left could win the premiership. And I don't think we've had a premiership race like that. Like last year, I know for Rabbitohs,
even though
but like Manly were always going to win.
It did feel like that.
I think Manly could win. I think the Raiders could definitely win. I think the Cowboys could shock people. I really do.
Cowboys, as I've said before, they do have a very, very good forward pack. I think it's one of the underrated forward packs in the game too. Like, You got Chris Lord, you got Ryan Mobison, you got Callum Irwin, you got Jamal Kasaka, Kobe Johnson. These are all very, very good forwards. And if their halves don't make that many errors, I think they're a very dangerous side.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We know how good these three sides are, and there's a reason they're here. I predicted it from day one that this would be the top three. So in fact, I got the top four entirely correct. And I think now it's in these three sides, it's gonna be. I think it's an even chance of. I genuinely think it's 1 in 3 chance between these sides. I think they have the same amount of chance. I know mainly Cowboys have to win more games, but the Raiders, they have a lot to fix too in order to win. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Should we move on to signings?
Yeah, let's move on to the signings. Shall we go through them?
I think we should. There's been a lot of signings recently. Obviously, teams trying to fill up their squads.
Alright, let's start from the first one. The first signing we had, let's go through the first two. Jordan Ford and Levi Raymond heading to the Eels, Parramatta Eels. What are our thoughts on these two signings?
You go, Tyron. I'll say my thoughts in a second.
Yeah. I think the signing of Levi Raymond will be good to bring that experience to the halves for Parramatta. But also, I really like the signing of Jordan Ford as well. Just brings quality to the Eels, which they've been lacking lately.
He also brings tenacity, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Very, very good. Well,
look, I think
he's
kind of screw with the Levi Raymond comment, but I think Jordan Ford is a very good signing. I think it's the top forward they need, just experienced forward. He's a very, very one of the better defenders in the comp, in my opinion. But Levi Raymond, I don't particularly rate. I'm sorry, I don't rate him as a half. I don't think he's a great half. I'm a little bit worried. You know, he hasn't. I think he set up 1 try assist. That's a 5'8" / halfback over the pretty much since like the beginning of season 3.
Yeah, but you got to understand the team he's on as well, though.
Broncos made finals. He set up 5 tries in 1 game, and then didn't set up a try assist for the rest of the season. Levi Raymond.
Yeah, Levi Raymond is the type of player that's very hot and very cold, isn't he?
And I'm worried that it's not the right player, and whether he's partnering Blake Harris or a man we'll talk about soon. Brody Kennedy. In fact, we might just go through it based on the teams, which the other 2 signings the Eels have made are
Jason
Brody Kennedy and Jason
Farah. Is that it? Yeah, that seems to be it. Yeah, which
I like Brody Kennedy signing, but Brody Kennedy is a good signing, but I don't really see why they brought Jason Farah.
Yeah, I think Jason Farah is a bit. He's just another forward the Eels don't really need. I felt like that was the thing. This had a lot of slow forwards, had a lot of just slow forwards that weren't really doing much, and I think Jason Farah is another one of those. I don't know if he's going to do anything.
I would have just picked someone from the rookie draft, I'm being honest.
Yeah, I would have just gone for someone from the rookie draft over Jason Farah. I'm going to be honest there, too. I don't see the point in it.
Yeah, so it's. I'd say the Eels did a reasonable job.
Signing. I think, there was people wanting with Penrith, but we made the decision to sort of let him go. Reason being, he just didn't really work with us anymore. We didn't really have a spot for him in our side. And we'll get to our signings later. We've brought in some players, and he didn't really fit into our puzzle anymore. I think it's going to be interesting to see where we place half or fullback. I think he 100% is playing at fullback. He did not work in the halves at Penrith. Blake Harris, although he's better at fullback, he did work in the halves. He may not like it. I know he isn't the biggest fan of playing halfback in the halves, but he needs to play in the halves.
That could bring some drama, though. That could bring some huge drama at Parramatta, though. Because what if the Eels don't do well next season? Blake Harris, and he's 100% out if they're playing him 6. Because I know some clubs would play him fullback.
The other option is they bring in someone else to play halves and then move Kennedy to centers. I just don't think you can play Kennedy in the halves.
No, I don't think he can. I don't think he can really.
I think he's just not. He's not a good half. We tried him in the halves at Penrith. He didn't play well once for us. I'm sorry if Kevin's watching this, but he just wasn't a good in the halves for us.
He's a good fullback, yeah, but no, not halves.
He's not working like Jack O'Neill, Isaac Edwards, to an extent. Chaz Dinger, who are traditional fullbacks who moved into the halves for the SRL. He just didn't work like that. Reason we moved that to that was because Fisher was ahead of him, and yeah, we just had no other swap for other than the centers. What do we rate the out of like in a grade? What do we rate the Eel signing so far?
I'd say about, for me,
considering
I'd say C minus. C minus.
C minus.
Not bad.
I think when it comes to Eels, they haven't lost any big name players by the looks of things. Other than I think the big one they lost was Seamus Wilson. But I think Jason Farrar, I don't see the point of him, honestly. Kennedy and Jordan Ford I really rate. Levi Raymond is hot and cold. They need some consistency in the half. They don't need someone that's hot and cold. I'll give it a C, but I'm very close to going down to a C minus or a D.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Lachlan as well. C going down to C minus.
So, shall we go on to the Broncos signings?
Okay.
Yep.
So the Broncos, they've signed a fair few. So they've got Corey Bell, Jackson Allison, Joey Kelly, Seamus Wilson. So Brian Kowal. Is there anyone else?
Cooper Gronk.
Cooper Gronk. Yep.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. So first of all, I think the Corey Bell signing, I don't know. Corey Bell needs to, if Jack Carl can keep Corey Bell in check, I think it's a good signing.
Yeah.
Corey Bell, because it won't be a good look for Jack Carl if Corey Bell starts doing what he always does with clubs and turning down the team mentality and stuff like that. Jackson Allison, I think, is a quality signing. Joey Kelly, pretty good signing, yeah. Seamus Wilson, yeah, that's a really good signing for the Broncos. I think that's huge for them. And Rohan Kowal, that's a huge signing for them. Gaining the Cowboys half, they really needed that signing, I think. That was a huge signing for them.
I think he's probably one of the best this season. I think he's been really great. Cooper Gronk out wide, and I'm really happy to see him. I'm really glad that Jack has managed to get him because I think he's a terrific player. Cooper Gronk, he's someone that they could really use, the Broncos. With some of their signings, with Corey Bell, I think they've signed him. I would imagine based on their lineup, they've signed him to play fullback. It's an interesting one because I think in season 1, if we remember correctly, he was one of the better players in the comp at fullback. His career has taken a turn since then. Been wing, center, bench. I don't know if he's played fullback since season 1. Does he still have the fitness level in him to keep it up with the better fullbacks in the comp is the real question. Because he hasn't played fullback since season 1, I don't believe.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Jackson Allison's an interesting one too, because don't get me wrong, he's still a terrific player. And I think he's always going to be a terrific direct player, but I think at club level, he's been a bit... Other than that, obviously he had that great grand final performance last season, won a premiership, but even he was one of the worse forwards in the Manly outfit. Keep in mind, Manly forwards are very strong, so that's no hit on Jackson Allison. Even this year for the Rabbitohs, they probably would have liked a little bit more out of him, if I'm honest. I think he's still a terrific player. I'm interested to see if he can go back to his best back at the Broncos. Seamus Wilson, terrific signing. Joey Kelly, someone that's also a really good signing. Cavallo, good signing. I am a bit worried about that forward pack though, moving next. They don't really have any forwards, do they, Broncos?
I mean, they do have a fair few players they're going to sign. But I will say I'm really impressed with what Jack Carl's done at the Broncos. He has cleaned out the Broncos and gave them a complete rebuild.
He's
I think that'll turn out for the better.
he's cleaned them out. He is going to require 6 rookies, which is quite interesting. If we look at some of the
I
names,
think it's...
Go on.
Yeah, but I think he needs... when you look at it, even though he released almost his full squad, you do look at it, when you got 17 new... club that needs 17 players themselves, and I think they filled a fair few spots themselves. So, of course, clubs are going to lose a fair few players, which is going to force them to have more draft picks.
Yeah, I think when in terms of the Broncos, obviously the new club forced more clubs to have a draft pick, but they have lost a few players that they would have liked to keep. I think Mark Iron,
Samuel Lillard's one.
They would really need a guy like Samuel Lillard. Creed Alex Chapman would have been huge if they could have kept him. Luka Moscow, another one. They'll be dreading they let go of him. And Bo Sadler is another one which they really would have liked a guy like Bo Sadler to stay at the club. Where is he going, Bo Sadler? I can't find him. He did leave though, did he not?
Knights.
No, is he going to Knights, is he?
Yeah,
He is,
Knights.
yeah. And
I see it,
Bo Sadler.
yeah.
I think that's a huge loss. I think
He's a very good player.
he's a very good defender. You can play him anywhere in the middle and he just do a great job. I think they really needed a guy like him. Overall, they have made some good signings, but they've also lost some quality talent. I'll give it a C plus because I think their signings are better than deals. But I think they've also lost some players that they'll be really dreading they let go. Some middle defenders that they really could have needed.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think that's something that they could have definitely used. But, yeah, I think for the Broncos, I'd give them a B, a flat B. If I'm being honest.
Tyron, what's your thoughts?
On the Broncos sightings,
Yeah.
I really think they're good. To clean out the squad like he has done and bring in the players like he has, like Corey Bell, Jackson Allison, and that. It looks really good for Broncos. I'd like to see what they do with their rookies and who they get.
What ranking from the
Oh,
signings?
I'll give them, yeah. I'll give them a B.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
The next club we'll probably look at now, the Knights. I don't know if we can't really give a grade on them because they've only signed players, but we will look at their signings nonetheless. The Knights.
Knights.
Or do you want me to read them out?
I'll read them out. So the Knights have signed Isaac Edwards, Matthew Vaughn, Maverick Oldfield, Robbie Elms. They've signed Bo Sadler, Sabbath Ta'ua, Robbo Mulberson, Mark Iron. That's it. Pretty good signings, if I'm being honest. I think they've got some very quality players. Robbo Mulberson's a huge one. I think that's huge for them to get him. He's going to be... I think he'll play lock, and that's a huge one. Sabbath Ta'ua is a very, very good player, underrated. Bo Sadler, he'll do a very good job at 9. I think Robbie Elms a pretty underrated winger. Maverick Oldfield, I just think he's kind of like an ass signing. I maybe would have went for a rookie over him. Matthew Vaughn.
Oh, he's come from... Sorry to cut you off here, Liam, but he's come from the Manly system. He's got to be at least decent, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything from Maverick Oldfield. I've not seen one thing from Maverick Oldfield that impresses me. And maybe that's just me, but I haven't seen one thing that can go, oh, wow, he's a good player.
Fair enough, then.
He may come from the Manly system, but hasn't really impressed me. Matthew Vaughn, yeah, I think he's got some... I looked at him for Souths. He had some really good stats on him for a rookie too. He has 94 speed. That's incredible. Isaac Edwards, I think he can revive his career. He's trying to revive his career at the Knights, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah, I think with Isaac Edwards, he ended the season on a high at Penrith. I think he was very strong for us. He was one of our better players in the final couple rounds. Really good to see him. Really glad that he found a good club. Same with Robbie Elms. I'm really glad they ended up going to Knights. I think that's a really great club for them. Robbie Elms especially. I was really disappointed to lose Robbie Elms, but I'm also I'm kind of glad he chose to go to Knights. I think the Knights will have a good system. I think they'll be competing next year. The only thing I'm worried about is that they might not have enough signings. It might be not enough for them. They might have too many rookies, similar to Broncos. That's all that concerns me.
Shit. Yeah, I disagree. I think they've gone after some really quality signings. Also, sorry for being really late. I think they've got some really quality signings, and the rookies that they pick up are going to be more role players for the team. And all the key positions for them are filled out, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, I do see a point there, Butters, but I just feel like, especially with their forward pack, they've only already got 2 forwards in there, don't they? Savatu and Robert Robinson, other than Mark Lee, who'll be playing hooker.
Yeah, that is a bit of a worry.
We saw what happened with Parramatta with a rookie forward pack this season. It doesn't work.
Yeah, rookie forward packs are very. You have to get the right combination to get it to work. You know.
Hey, Lachlan, when does free agency end?
Not a real date. Just sort of keeps going until all players get signed. Or I guess the end of the rookie draft probably.
Fair enough. So there's still a fair few on free agency.
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of those guys aren't going to sign. I feel like they would have signed already with how many clubs are looking for, how many clubs are looking like they're going to have at least 4 rookies next season. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but that's what worries me. Same with the Broncos. I'm worried that they're not going to have a good forward pack next season, and that could, honestly, it could be their downfall. I think what gives the Knights a little bit of an edge is I think their 2 forwards they have signed are terrific. Absolutely standout players. Salvatore, the underrated workhorses, didn't miss a tackle until round 7 this season. Played pretty much 80 minutes every single game. And Roy Robinson, he's one of the sleeping giants in the SRL. Someone that just, when he wakes up, he just goes absolutely mad. I think he had a massive game against, who was it against? It was a couple of weeks ago. Was it against the Raiders? Where he just went absolutely mad in 20 minutes when he came on in the final 20 minutes. Broke 4 tackles or something. Made a couple of line breaks, scored a try. After already getting denied one. He's something, Rowan Robinson. We looked at him getting independent, but he was interested to go into the Knights and give it to them. He's a great signing.
Yeah, but even throughout the season when he wasn't he wasn't flashy, he had one of the highest tackle percentages, or at least a decently high tackle percentage. So they've gone after some quality forwards who rarely miss tackles, the Knights, and that's going to help them a lot because the rookies are going to make mistakes, are going to miss a couple tackles here and there, but it will be good to have some quality veterans that can really help shape their young forward pack.
I think in terms of, I think they've signed the right players the Knights. They've signed a lot of experienced players. I think that in terms of the right players, they have signed them. But in terms of how many players, they might be a little bit lackluster in the forward pack. I think a guy like Jordan Ford they really should have gone after. Maybe even, I think Jack Splain's on the market. They should really go after him. Am I correct in saying that?
He is still on the market, yes.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he hasn't signed with anyone yet. That might be, if you're a captain and watching this, you probably should go after him. Unless he's an actor or something.
Liam, sorry.
Sorry, I'm sending something.
Is Liam literally... Oh my god.
No, I'm sending you something.
Oh, Liam. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think the Knights have made some really quality signings, and I think they'll do pretty good this next season. I think I'd give them like an A minus.
You can't really grade a team that in my opinion, that only sign new players, so I'm just not going to grade them. But I will say that, if I grade them based on what I think about how they'll go in terms of signings, I guess I could grade them. The fact they started with 0, I'll probably give them a B minus, maybe B plus. I think they are missing that. I think they've signed really good players. There's just not enough of them. It's just simply not enough, and I don't think. Like, let me go check this. Am I correct in saying they've only got 2 forwards?
Yeah,
Other than
I
Mark,
think they are.
that's not good. That's not great.
Logan Strange.
Oh, that's free, right? They've also have Logan Strange. So, yeah, I forgot about the captain. I'm
that's big.
Logan's
That's
definitely
big.
gonna give me some stuff for that for getting their own captain of the club. But even still, 3 forwards like a lock, a proper second row. Again, it's not gonna be. It's not. It's. I don't think it's gonna turn out great. That's what I'll move it up. Since I forgot, I'll move up to a B plus.
So, what team we want to do now?
I think Penrith are next.
Shall we go to Penrith?
I think they're next on the list.
Alright.
aren't they? Oh no, you have Manly.
It's
but-
got you have Manly. You have Manly. Manly shouldn't take long.
They have only.
Blair Curtin.
they're
They
only
got Blair Curtin
Tyler Weston.
and O'Shea and Tyler Weston.
Tyler Weston is a good.
O'Shea.
Tyler Weston is a good player, but he's a little controversial. He said some stuff. I believe it was him early on in his career, back when he was close to a rookie, that kind of knocked a couple people the wrong way. But he seems like he's gotten himself back onto pace, and he's a quality player, so that's a great pickup. O'Shea Ole obviously didn't get the time of day he probably wanted to at South, which is not his fault at all. He was just stuck behind myself, Liam, and Jack. So it was just rough for him.
His speed wasn't. He may be way better at Manly, but his speed wasn't good enough for what we wanted, really.
Yeah.
I hate saying this, but he was probably going to get forced out anyway. We didn't force him out, but he probably would have been forced out.
Look, it's a very interesting thing with Manly signings because it's very unmanly like signings. You know, I think last off season they sort of got the pick and choose who they want. I believe everyone that left the club was forced out. Well, this season,
Yeah.
feels like they're sort of panicked. Like, I don't know if we'd seen in the past Manly sign Tyler Weston, O'Shea Ole, who is not, he hasn't done much for a half, who's been in there for 2 seasons.
To be fair,
he's been off the bench.
Ole is a friend of Matty Harris.
Is he? Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense then. All right, fair enough then. Who's the other sign? And Blake Curtin makes sense. Blake Curtin is a Manly signing. That is a player Manly would sign. But, you know, I think that the other two, very interesting picks by Manly.
Yeah.
I feel
Very
like
interesting.
they've panicked in terms of signings, especially with Tyler Weston. Not someone I think we'd see Manly pick up in the past.
Yeah, I don't think that would be someone.
I would
I think
say
they
he has
did
the
panic
ability.
on the Western part.
Yeah, he has the ability to be
Yeah.
Western. But, yeah. And I think they've lost a lot of players, Manly, haven't they?
Yeah, but I don't. The issue I have with Weston is I don't. He may have the ability, but I don't know. Off the field, I know he has some issues, which can really create controversy amongst the Manly dressing room. Which I'm sure Matty Harris will be able to keep in check, but you just don't want a similar situation to what happened to Corey Bell.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I have to agree. So, if we have a look at the players that have left Manly, there's a huge list of this. Joey Kelly, Matthew Vaughan, Maverick Oldfield, Ben Punch, Casey K,
And
and that is it. But that's not. That is it. But that's not. That's a lot of players that have left.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or Manly.
This is gonna be.
You know what? You know what? I'm actually going to grade that as a D plus.
Oh,
I'd go
I'll
D
give it a
minus
C
to be
minus.
honest. I think it's a pretty bad. Like,
it's passable. In my opinion, it's passable, but barely.
Passable.
Look, I
technically
still rate what's his name, Tyler Weston. I think O'Shea Ole will more fit.
I think Ole will be the bench utility.
Yeah, but I think he'll be more of a fit at Manly than he was at Souths.
Will he though?
Well, yeah, because we were having to play him in the forwards for a couple games.
I think he'll play forwards and he'll play hooker.
yeah, I think I'll play the Matthew Vaughan role.
Yeah. But yeah, that's to me that's not an absolute fail.
I think it's.
I think
pretty
it's
bad.
I think it's a C minus.
C minus. Oof.
Yeah.
Tyrone, what's your thoughts on it?
Would be a lot better, to be honest. I'm gonna give it a D plus.
Fair enough. What's the next team we got?
Penrith.
Penrith. Alright. So we got Ben Punch, Cody Mansour, Jacob Morrison, Coda Diab, Tellis Rife, Kane Chapman, Kenny, Creed, Alex Chapman,
And Callum Irwin.
Callum Irwin. Yeah, that's all of them. That is a huge amount of players, and I hate saying this, but well done to Penrith. They've gotten a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good amount of players and a very good quality. Ben Punch, I think he's a very good player. Cody Mansour. I haven't seen much of him, but I think he's a decent player.
Callum Irwin.
Jacob Morrison, we already know he's a very, very good player for Raiders. Diab, I think that's very, I don't know, it's questionable.
That's questionable, but other than that, all of your picks have been top tier. I'd give that an A.
I'd give it an A too. I think it's a very good amount of signings.
Without Coda, I think it's an A plus. I think Coda's just too much. Too.
Can I speak on the Coda signing?
Yeah.
I've spoken to Coda, so I've sort of just said to him, look, because if I didn't sign him, I don't think any club was going to sign him. But, and as I spoke to a couple of the Penrith boys about this, I spoke to Kane Chapman Kenny before making the signing. We all agreed that Coda has a lot of talent, and I think he just sort of clashed heads with some of those Broncos players. I don't think, looking at who we have at Penrith squad, even last season when we had the spoon, we were usually pretty, confident. We'd always still go into games with a nice, good attitude. We wouldn't win. We still kept that attitude. We never sort of broke it apart. And I sort of think that with the right players around us at Penrith, we sort of aren't going to have the issues that was at the Broncos if something starts to happen and Coda starts to get a bit unsettled. You sort of learn that the others sort of are just getting on with their job like, oh, well, we'd have to go on to the next job, type thing. So I think, although he has had a couple issues, I think he'll be handled all right.
What if he gets in issues? I know that Penrith may not clash heads with him, but what if, to say, someone in SRL chat bangs on heads with him? There's still a possibility. That doesn't look good for Penrith.
Yeah, Lachlan, my worry was never that he was going to clash heads inside the Penrith camp, because I've been in the Penrith camp. I know the culture that is kind of bred there. It's a very good culture down there, but I'm more worried about him clashing heads outside.
Yeah, and look, that's a good point. And look, I'll be probably quite tough for Coda if something arises or something like that, I'll have a word to him.
Yeah.
More so as captain than as commissioner. I'm not gonna be, strike. You said something that I don't like. I'm gonna strike you. It'll more be like, hey, bro, look, you're allowed. You're allowed to say it, but like, don't say it. Just get on with your job.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly I think what people have to learn with Penrith, we sort of just. We used to get try to just take it, whereas I would be a bit worried if Coda just can't take it, but I was just sort of like giving that word like, "Oi, man, we just ignore it for now. We'll just get on with our job, worry about ourselves, and we'll be all good." I do think the Coda signing is going to work in our favour because I do think he is a terrific forward. He's pretty much. I'm pretty sure he's like an 84 speed or something. He's really quick. He's really good. Just trust me on this Coda signing. It will work out.
But other than that, Ben Punch, Callum Irwin, and Taylor Strip, all good quality forwards that you picked up there. And your forward pack was, in my opinion, a little bit lacking this season, and so it was some very good signings.
Yeah. Very good signings from Penrith. Tom, what are your thoughts on Penrith signings?
I think Penrith are arguably recruited the best in the whole SRL, in my opinion. Especially with the signing of Kane Chapman-Kenny to boost their backline. He just brings that experience into the side. I also did like the signing of Jacob Morrison as well. He just helps bolster the squad. And I'm gonna give this an A+, I'm gonna be honest.
A+.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Fair enough. I do respect that. I think it can deserve an A+. So the next group of signings we've got the. Is it the Cowboys? No, the Raiders. So the Raiders, we've got Xavier Demando, Marshall Edwards, and Samuel Lillard. That's a very... Marshall Edwards is a good signing. Demando, I think, is an okay signing. Lillard, that's a pretty good signing for the Raiders pack because I think they're lacking for next season with their pack. So, yeah, I think he could definitely be a very good signing for them. I'd give him like a...
Who have the Raiders lost this season? Jacob Morrison and who else?
Sabbath Tua.
Anyone else?
Jack O'Neill.
Is it just those three?
Let me look.
Corey Bell.
Corey Bell, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I think that these signings are very... Like, when we're looking like the NRL, right? These are the top signings that you see Melbourne Storm would make after losing a lot of key players. I think they're all very decent players with the potential of being world-class players. And I honestly really rate the signings that the Raiders have made. Like, I genuinely think that... At first glance, I wasn't too sure, but I genuinely think that Marshall Edwards, he's a talent. We really wanted to keep him Penrith. This point we couldn't. Samuel Lillard, he's had moments, and I think he'll get more of those moments at Raiders. And then, who's the other guy? I forgot who it was.
Xavier Demando.
Oh, Xavier Demando. Yeah, he's probably the worst of the bunch, but I still think that he has a lot of X factor about him. Xavier Demando. He's very tall. He's a very tall winger. And honestly, I think it's a decent signing from the Raiders. I actually really do like the signings they've made. Their losses are very big, but they've recruited well with what they have had to offer, what's been on offer for them to get.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's like a C for me. Butters, what are your thoughts on that? Oh, Butters in here. Tyron, what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry.
I like the signings they've made, but they've also lost some big players. I think it's balanced. I think it's even. I'll just stay in the middle. I'll go C+ actually.
What's your thoughts on those Raiders signings?
I'll give it a B, just a straight B, because they lost players and the signings, whilst good, don't make up for the players they lost completely. So yeah, I'll give it a B.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying that. Our main point was I think they've recruited very well with what they had to recruit.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of options for them, and I think they've done very well, all things considered.
Yeah, definitely. Shall we move on to the next team? I think it is now the Cowboys. They've got Arnaldo Takuri, Luka Moscow. You got anyone else? Nah. Those two.
And
What are
they've
our thoughts on
lost-
them?
And I've lost Cooper.
Robo Mobison,
Callum Irwin,
and
and I think that's it.
is there anyone else?
Yeah,
Yep, that's it. Rohan Kawal.
Ryan Cavall, yep. They're very. I think.
I thought it was poor.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's poor, to be honest. I haven't really fully looked at this too much yet, but I think, considering the players they've lost, I think they've missed the gun. I think similar to Souths, who have made no signings, they've sort of just missed the gun this season. They've had a lot of their players just leave. Although they did have a lot of silvers. They came into the offseason with also had a transfer window of 9 silvers, then they cut down to 6. They've also just, I think, in general, just haven't really signed anyone of note. Luka Moscow, he returns there where he had his form season, but can he go back into that form? I don't know. We want to hope so, but they've lost Rohan Cavall again. No sign of who they're replacing him with, is there?
I'll have to draft someone.
Well,
But they're going to have a great draft pick. They're not going to have a great draft pick either. And they don't have another half, which means they're going to have to draft someone
Yeah, unless
and
they
try and
go-
get lucky
unless they
late in
go,
the draft.
the other options they could be looking is move Moana moving Tyler Amatang into the halves and then moving to Terran Maxwell to fullback.
Maybe that
But
could
even
be
that,
the
I
option.
wouldn't personally.
I wouldn't even like
I
that.
wouldn't like.
I don't
that.
think Amatang's a half. No, I don't think Amatang's a
I think
half.
he'd have a similar thing that Brody Kennedy had, and it worries me with the Cowboys because you know what happened last time that a half pick. Obviously, it was Will Kane. He was touted, and then he just came in and did not much, to be honest. No offense to Will Kane.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's become a great player since going to Manly, but the Cowboy system really didn't work for him. And I'm worried that maybe it might not be a good thing for them. Obviously, things have changed.
But it isn't the Malca system, so maybe it'll be different.
It's gonna be. I really don't know what to think of the Cowboys. I don't like their signings, to be honest. I think they've lost a lot of really good players. Luka Moscow, if he goes back to the form, he'll be good, but Cooper Gronk leaving, I think he's a big one. He was a really good defensive center. Callum Irwin, Rowan Momenston, that's two of their best forwards, I'd say. Probably behind only Chris Lord and Kobe Johnston. I'm gonna have to give it a D+.
I think it's a D-.
I'd say a C-. Don't think it's that bad to grade at a D. Alright, so the next team we've got is, I believe,
Yeah. So that's
yep, so those are all the teams that have signed players.
The Warriors have only lost players
Yes.
while the Rabbitohs haven't signed any players. So I guess the Rabbitohs get a C then since... Actually, if I get worse, the next they've only lost players.
Yeah.
And
I'd say we get an F. I don't think we've done it.
Yeah.
I'll be straight up honest. We have missed the gun for signings.
Yeah.
We came in late.
I
and-
take some of the blame there. We targeted the wrong types of people and people that were already basically going to sign with other clubs.
who were you
And, yeah,
targeting?
Merwin was one. Robert Mulverston was one.
We've at first we went pace to pace.
We didn't know that he was gone.
Yeah. We went after Sabbath Tour. That was a big one that we lost.
Yeah,
Creed at the very start. I believe we did.
we had a look at him. Yeah, we did have a look at him.
I want to say it's the wrong type of players. I just say you just missed them and they just chose not to
Yeah.
give you, which is surprising. Rather as a struggling attractive players. Yeah, that's. You guys might be.
We just missed
you
the
guys
gun,
might be in
I
trouble
guess.
next season.
Oh yeah,
I just we know we're in trouble, but I think we can try and find positive ways out of it. I think I'll have a chat with the boys, and I think we have a positive camp there. I think we have some really positive players, and I think we'll benefit from the rebuild.
And I think on the Warriors note, the Warriors, they've done it for the second season in a row, kept most of their players the same. The thing is though, and this is just my opinion on it, I think it's so they have next season can make the finals. But I don't see a way that they keep doing this and that team gets them to a premiership.
yeah.
They need to clean out. I think they need to clean out.
It's not that they need to clean out, it's they need to get a couple more players in there and get rid of a couple of dead weights. Like, I think one of them, and I think he's a terrific player, but realistically, has John Nana done much over the past couple seasons? He's a gold-rated player, one of the best players in the comp, rating-wise. And has he done much?
No, not really.
I think they're just really hoping on Nanai to get back to their season 1 and 2 form. Because back in season 1 and 2, he was arguably one of the best in the comp.
I just don't see a way that the Warriors can get to a premiership. I think they can make the finals. All right, we've seen that this season, but I don't think they can get to a premiership by keeping this method or just keeping everyone together. I just don't think they can. I'm sorry, and I don't think. I understand why they keep doing it, but they just need to look at who they need moving forward, and who it's time to just dump. Like, I think, and I don't want to call out players, but I don't know if the half combination of John McCartney and Josh Corcoran's working, to be honest.
It probably isn't.
I don't think their kicking game is great. I think they really need a better calf in there because I don't think their kicking game is great as a whole. They need a better half. They really could have gone with Rohan Caval. He would have been a great guy to bring in there. Another guy, who was on the market, Cody Mansell, could have been useful for them. Glad he came to Penrith, but he could have been useful for them. Even getting an extra forward, swapping Rowan Robinson for John Allen would have been a great move. A great move. But they just...
That's the most goals they can.
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying. They swapped Nana for Rowan Robinson. I don't know if they do have the most goals they can, but if they swap Nana for Robinson because they're both golds.
Let me say though, because they may not have the max amount of golds. Warriors.
Oh shit!
The Warriors, they only have 2 golds. They could have got targeted Robertson and had both of them.
Yeah, I think that
I completely understand them trying to keep a culture in their club where everyone is loyal, where the leadership team is loyal to the players that are loyal to the club, but it's getting to a stage where it's just not working for them right now.
How can they win a premiership? I think they're a quality football side. They can't. But the thing is, though, making finals... Well, this is maybe just coming from my competitive background, but making finals to me isn't enough. If I was a Warrior... I know I haven't experienced that yet, but we're just going to move on to that part. Alright? Making finals to me... Like, I know people are going to be like, oh, you just want to make finals, right? No, I want to win the premiership. Making finals to me is useless if I don't win the premiership. There's no point. You're just going to go to the same heartbreak of losing. Like, making finals is nice, but you need to be looking for how you win the premiership. And I don't know if they can go to that next level with that side. I'm sorry. They could prove me wrong. They could well and truly prove me wrong, but... And the thing is, they lost Logan Strange and they didn't really replace him with anyone. He was one of their best forwards this year. Has been for a long time.
Yeah, they didn't really replace him, did they?
I think...
Kind of weird, wasn't it? But...
I think they've... I think they're overestimating how far loyalty can take them in this comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think really maybe did need some more depth there. But I'd say I'd give them a D-ish,
Give them a D
somewhere around it.
minus. I don't think they've been. I'll give them a D. D minus. I don't think they've gained. They've lost a bunch of players and gained no one for it. I don't like. It's not.
That's an F. What do you?
Yeah, actually, it is. It should be an F, shouldn't it? They've gained no one and just lost a bunch of players.
Yeah, you're right. It should be an F. Yeah, I reckon it should be an F. All right, so let's get on to the game for the week that we have. So we got the Manly Sea Eagles versus the North Queensland Cowboys, and I'll run through the team list quickly. So we have got for the North Queensland Cowboys, we've got Amatini at fullback, Maxwell and Kembola on the wings, Columbus and Gronk in the centres, Minor and Kawhi on the halves, Lord and DePace at props, Wallace at hooker, Kobe Johnson, Jamal Kasaka at second row, Robert Mobiston at lock. I think that's really good for them. Callum Irwin, Namana, Hodgson, Wells on the bench. And for Manly at fullback, they got KCK. On the wings, Joey Kelly and Malachi Booth. In the centres, Maverick Oldfield and Ethan Goodwin. In the halves, Will Kay and Kaz Dingo. At props, Brad Goodwin and Lennox Pakash. At hooker, Ben Punch. At second rows, Jesse Bennett and Hayden Melhurt. At lock, Matthew Harris. On the bench, Jenna Punch, Joshua Blackburn, Carl Lewis and Matthew Vaughan. What are our thoughts on these lineups, boys?
The Cowboys one is very interesting to me because Chris Lord usually plays himself at lock. But I don't know if you guys noticed, nearly every time he plays Manly, he switches himself to a lock prop.
Yeah,
last year too. I don't think he did it round one, but I specifically remember him doing last year in the final two.
And it didn't really help.
I think it's very interesting because personally, I think he's been close to the best lock this year, and I think it's a terrible move.
Yeah.
I think, personally, I'd just be swapping him and Mobiston around. I'd be starting Mobiston at prop and putting Lord at lock. There's got to be a game plan around it. I just don't know what the game plan is.
Yeah.
Mobiston is a good player, though, so I don't know.
He's a good player. I just think that Lord's been really good at lock this year.
I think Mobiston could be, if they start playing him there, I think he could be a top 2 or 3 lock as well, so...
Yeah, he is an amazing player, and I think lock is his position. And when he does play lock, he is in that top 2, top 3. But Chris Lord has done wonders for them so far. I don't think he gets the same impact at prop. So I don't know.
He is the captain.
I don't know what they'd be doing.
I would predict that a game plan around it. Another thing I find interesting is to have Callum Irwin on the bench. Probably to counter Daniel Punch, I'd imagine.
Possibly, but
Stace DePace could do that too.
Yeah, I probably... To be honest, I think that Stace DePace has the better impact over Callum Irwin. I'd be starting Callum Irwin to set the tone early than having Stace DePace come off the bench.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Stace DePace is more of an impact player.
Obviously, we'll see how this team goes when obviously the game is played. But I think, I don't know. And then obviously Manly, I think that loss of Carl Lewis is going to be massive for them. I think he's been a top 3 or 4 hooker this year. I think he's been really good without a dummy half. I'm interested to see how Ben Punch goes. I think it could be big for them if Ben Punch doesn't perform out of dummy half or if he struggles a little bit. I'll be watching with close eyes because that's probably where he'll be playing next year for Penrith. So I'll be watching with eagle eyes here.
Yeah. All right. So, what's our thoughts on Manly's lineup?
It's your average Manly lineup. Whenever they lose a player due to injury, they always have a backup plan, and it's just always so hard to stop them.
I do agree. It's very hard to stop them. So can we get a tip from all of you guys?
I think you have to go. You have to go, man.
I
I
just-
mean,
How much, bro?
how much is it's gonna be that question. I'd go probably 1 to 10, but on the high
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Lachlan?
I think Cowboys are going to win this one. I just have a feeling. I know I've mentioned that team lists are a bit odd, but I still think that Manly, they had a lot of really poor errors last week. Cowboys, I think that's the best performance of the season. Manly played their worst performance. They found a way. Raiders exposed, I think, one of the best players in the comp last week, Chaz Dingle. If Cowboys can do that again, Manly's attack might falter, and this could cause a Manly overboil and see Cowboys win. I think Cowboys are going to win 1-12. I really do.
I also agree.
How much is it?
I also
you
agree
think-
with Lachlan. I think the Cowboys will win 1-12.
Interesting. I don't know. You know what I'm thinking? I think I've been wrong with Manly a bunch, and I just can't go against them. I think Manly 1-12. I think they'll be far too strong. I think they'll bounce back in the Manly. Even though you say, they've never lost a game for 20 games or so, I just think they'll bounce back.
That's fair
To
enough.
be honest.
I think Cole's a big loss too. I think, they'll get him in the second half, but in the first half, Daniel Punch, I think in defense it won't make a difference. In fact, I'd say Ben Punch is probably a better defender. I just think in attack there might be a bit. There just might be a bit, less damaging, I guess, is the best way to put it.
I don't get what how a hooker can really make an impact. I don't know a hooker's going to really make that much of an impact. It's as long as he doesn't throw a forward pass, he should be fine.
We'll have to see then.
That's the only thing. Yep, I think we'll have to see. And that will wrap up the episode of SRL 360, episode 32. Join the Simulation Rugby League for the preliminary final on Tuesday, or is it Wednesday evening?
Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m.
When-
Australian Eastern Daylight Time at Accor Stadium.
See you all then. Until then, bye-bye.